That bad smell that you're getting at the moment is the overflow from pump station 8, which is now ending up in this overflow basin, and because it's not being pumped back.
The Vaal River, serene, picturesque, and pleasant to the naked eye. A landmark, a lifeline, and fresh water for millions. Take a closer look. You can turn away, but the smell you will never forget. A town with its guts spilling out. This is the incessant flow of effluent. On the streets of Van der Vaal Park, water runs the streets and fills the potholes. For many, this is inhospitable and unacceptable. But for those in the Vaal, this is a way of life.
Okay, that's raw sewage running into the Vaal River. The Vaal River is just there. You can see it out in the distance there. That's the Vaal River. And this is the sewage, the effluent that is just for years and years now. It's just been flowing systematically into the Vaal River.
This is Mike Brugger, a Lone Ranger maverick who is on a crusade. He rides on two wheels seeking out leaks.
This is raw sewage. Now once again you'll notice that this is at the bottom end here. As it starts to fill up here and as it's more and more coming through here, it will start spilling even higher up. But they went bankrupt and then they went into administration.
Mike calls himself an active citizen, but to many mayors of Emfuleni Local Municipality, he has been a major headache. A retired engineer who still thinks like he just punched in for work. Mike is by some distance the worst tour guide I have ever had. About 90 minutes southwest of Johannesburg, this road announces itself by smell and sight. Mike began by taking us to Pump Station 10, where the military has the premises under lock and key, but what's inside cannot be hidden. And just across the road from the army at Pump Station 10, the collection of sewage, incessant flows of effluent making its way into the Vaal River.
The sewage that flows in here goes downstream, affects all the people and the cattle and all informal settlements downstream, as well as this ends up going all the way to the Orange River. And it's against the law, as I have stated, that you're not allowed to dump any effluent or any sewage, raw sewage, into the Vaal River.
Unfortunately, this was only the beginning of the sight and smell tour of this town. A stone's throw away, an overflow basin, which itself could use an overflow basin.
That bad smell that you're getting at the moment is the overflow from pump station 8, which is now ending up in this overflow basin, and because it's not being pumped back to Sebokeng wastewater treatment plant, it is actually just stagnating, overflowing and flowing directly into the Vaal.
The hidden danger is worse. This untreated water and its invisible high levels of E. coli trickle downstream, infecting people and livestock. The results of this unabated flow is felt from Vereeniging as it snakes its way through Gauteng to Parys in the Free State. The journey of some 600 kilometers downstream past Orkney and ultimately past Bloemhof in the Northern Cape, where it will finally merge with the Orange River Basin. The root cause of the problem is multi-layered. According to the 2011 census, the population of Emfuleni Local Municipality was just over 721,000 people, and in 2016 it had grown to 733,000 people. This urban migration happens as people look for opportunities in towns and cities, but it also puts a strain on resources and infrastructure. And while Randwater is doing its best to protect the quality of our drinking water, the more bacteria goes into the Vaal, the more money they will need to clean it. But this waste haven has also had unintended consequences.
Is the property values, but the property values here have deteriorated dramatically because nobody would buy in a place where it's like this.
I imagine people want to leave.
Absolutely, a lot of people have left. Okay, you can't tolerate it forever.
For years now, the Emfuleni Local Municipality has suffered from service delivery issues and also maladministration. The municipality has been a turnstile for mayors, from Simon Mufokeng to Jacob Kawe and now Gift Mwerani. 10 months ago, the Premier of the province, David Makura, placed the Emfuleni Local Municipality under administration, saying it is failing in its executive obligations. 10 months later, the obligations still stand.
The local government, sadly, they're chopping and changing from one mayor to the next, and they are
Not helping.
I like Jacob Kawe, I like Gift Murane. They're good people. However, their tasks are so big that they just will not be able to do the task.
The Emfuleni Lone Ranger is not done yet with his gauntlet of waste when he saw a familiar side.
The illegal dumping becomes worse and worse because of the fact that refuse is not being collected by the Emfuleni Local Municipality.
So people have to do this for themselves.
They have to find ways of actually getting rid of their stuff because the landfills are closed, the landfills are dangerous, the compactors don't come around to collect the stuff. But this is now building rubble, but further down the road you'll see the vast amounts of refuse, household refuse, that gets dumped here illegally because of the fact that it's not collected in the residential areas, and that then puts areas like this at risk.
So whose fault is it that we have illegal dumping?
This is blatantly the municipality that hasn't been administering their affairs properly, and they don't have the compactors to be able to go and collect. They don't have the money because they've squandered the money for diesel. When they do have compactors, then they don't have diesel.
Then, linking the desperate situation the town faces, Mike took us to the shock and awe scene. The town electric substation in Curry Boulevard, which blew up only a couple of weeks before. It has not been for lack of money. Mike says that only in October last year, 5 million rands was allocated for maintenance of the substation.
At the time when they did the repairs in end of October, they did not do the necessary checks to make sure that this kind of thing doesn't happen again. In other words, if you were to fix a plug in your house and the back end of the plug is broken off, you're going to take a new plug and put a new plug in and make sure that that doesn't happen again. So now in this case here, there was a number of very straightforward, fundamental issues, like the new equipment that was brought in that had tarpaulins over it.
Those tarpaulins started a chain reaction that is still being felt today, from shops to bricklayers and many nearby businesses, were without electricity and also work. People like Robert Mudipa, who works at the butchery just across the road.
Couldn't work for a week. Most of the company were closed. We didn't have money to pay our staff. We buy a lot of food. Each and every day we must buy food. Every day, but you put groceries in the fridge, they get fraud, we buy again. Yeah.
And then what did that mean for you, for your salaries, guys?
Poverty, my man. We're getting worse. We're starting again to poverty. Yeah. We lost a lot of business because then maybe every day we buy diesel about 12,000 to keep things frozen. Some people have to stay at home. We lose a lot. Yes, sir.
It wasn't just electricity, however, that was in short supply. Water also needs pumping to get to the reservoirs, And without electricity, the municipality needs generators at great expense to the ratepayers. Mike, an engineer to his boots, says he and his engineering cohort have offered to assist the local municipality audit substations pro bono. But bureaucracy is a process at its own pace, if any at all. But just how much of this was just down to politics? The problem with the old engineers are one, that they're old, and two, represent a different time. Do you think the politics have clouded service delivery?
Absolutely so. All service delivery is currently being clouded by politics. The technical expertise is absolutely failing, and it is a political game that's being played, and it's there for an engineer, for each problem there's a solution. You just need to focus on it logically and eliminate the problem.
But alone as he might be today, Mike is part of a team that won't keep quiet. He has been part of the Emfuleni Ratepayers Association since his first engineering check in 1979.
I'm not afraid to talk to power, talk truth to power, and to try and save the money and the lives that are going to be lost if these things are not taken care of.
What needs taking care of is the Emfuleni Local Municipality. And depending on whom you ask, the bill could be between 1 and 5 billion rands to clean up the Vaal River system. Picturesque as it is, the Vaal is deep and vast. The money and effort needed to clean it is not only huge, but also vital. Otherwise, the water from here will become an expensive luxury rather than a basic right. Karabole Tlhatla, CNBC Africa, Emfuleni.
That bad smell that you're getting at the moment is the overflow from pump station 8, which is now ending up in this overflow basin, and because it's not being pumped.
No, it's very clear what it means. 139(1)B simply means that it enables national government and provincial government to come to the rescue of the municipality.
With barely 3 months on the job, Emfuleni Mayor has a mountain of work ahead of him. The question is, can he get to the other side? Mr. Mayor, Executive Councillor Gift Mwerani, I thank you for your time here.
No, thank you.
Let's begin by looking at your municipality. 10 months ago, the Premier of the province put it under administration. What does this mean? Does this make you a token, or can you actually take decisions?
No, it's very clear what it means. 139(1)B simply means that it enables national government and provincial government to come to the rescue of the municipality.
I'm sorry to do this to you, Reverend, but 10 months in, after such a declaration, a 139 has been declared, and your municipality still looks like that.
I do agree with you. What actually I did after being inducted in that position, I seeked an audience with the provincial administrator, with the Premier and his team, to say specifically they must explain the exact mandate under 139, which he did, and I'm happy because now, for the first time, he was able to articulate the deliverables.
What is expected of you, Mayor?
What is expected of me is to making sure that we follow all those key points with precision.
Okay. Mayor, a part of the problem here is the fact that you have these huge, almost insurmountable problems, especially when one look at the Vaal River system, that I can see why it was prudent of the finance minister to actually deploy the military there, and all the help you can get. I even encourage those that are pointing fingers to also be part of the solution. But there must be things that you can help. Surely your city does not have to look like that. Surely rubbish can be demarcated to a certain place. So I'm trying to figure out just how much ability you have, and if, well, quite frankly, Mayor, are you sleeping on the job? Because, demarcation is something you can do.
No, definitely sure. We have Mr. Nkwane, who has been assigned by province to turn things around.
And how long is that going to take?
For 6 months.
Mayor, here's the problem. Your constituency will be going to the national elections on the 8th. They will be voting largely on their local problems. Yours are bare. So what do you tell ANC voters there? What do you tell people that you want to vote for your party? How can they?
The reality is that people know that we are under siege. They know that. It's no more a debatable issue. What is debatable is the method of rescuing the municipality. One is that the army is there, is unlocking the process. And what I enjoy since I've been there, business people are back now. I had 3 sessions with them where they are saying, we are here to assist you. How can we assist? Engineers have come forward. As we can see, Mike actually has come to say, we are here to assist you. I have already done a diagnostic process of, especially for the sewer. Now we know exactly where the problem is of the sewer system. I've been to the site itself. I've realized that only 20% of the sewer from the communities is able to flow into the main reservoir where they're supposed to clean it. Now, the army is now in the process where now they are unlocking all those blockages of the 2.6 kilometers of the pipes. Now we know exactly where actually they should start. And now the other issue is that budget has been now released, because the main problem why there was stagnation was budget. So now that we have resources
with your city, it's not necessarily the budget. It's the fact that it gets smaller and smaller every year. Because when Gwede Mantashe was there as the ANC national chairperson, business people were telling him that they don't find your municipality open enough, that your municipality is not working with them. That's what business people were telling your own comrade. Now, what do you say when you say that business people are coming back? I ask myself, as somebody who was in the Vaal, that why would they come back? That place smells horrible. It looks horrible.
It looks horrible, but you are right to say the business then, but now they've come forward to say, Mr. Mayor, we want to work with you.
Mr. Mayor, and I don't blame you. You're 3 months into the job, and I want to try and be as fair to you as possible. But Emfuleni had plans to launch a property development there. It was going to be an 11 billion rand property development on the verge of the Vaal River. That is where that rubbish was laying just now. Surely that's not a place you can develop.
It's true.
So what does this mean for Emfuleni? And more than anything else, I want to feel like the people who are there, who gave me their time and showed me around, that their circumstances going to change.
Absolutely.
When?
I can tell you.
When?
Just, I think in 3 months' time, you will see a change in that municipality. Honestly, I can tell you. We have managed actually to do almost 30% of the work at the waterworks now. So we are at a process where we are unlocking the system now from the townships and around the city, the town of Vanderbilt, for the waste now to flow into our water stations. 2
problems there.
So
I just want to bring up 2 problems. You speak about water. I speak about the fact that water has a relationship with electricity because you needed to pump the water up to the reservoir. And your substations have been going out. Surely you are under siege here.
I'm under siege, actually. I agree with you, Chief.
And Mike tells me that part of the problem here is the fact that your substation burned because the contractors that you had left tarpaulins on the roof. And that tarpaulin, it created water that eventually caused the explosion that we saw from the substation. And he says that you don't have a qualified engineer on your books in the local council. Do you think do you see a possibility to strengthen capacity alone in order to be able to address the real issues?
One of the mandates that we got under 139 is to employ. And then we are actually, I've agreed with the MM, who is acting like our administrator, to execute that mandate of closing all the vacant posts. So I'm definitely sure, because I gave him the go-ahead that we should do that, we are going to fill up those posts, those critical posts. And on top of that, people who are not necessary in the system, they have offered their services to say, we are here, utilize us where you need us.
Some people have come to me when I was telling them that I'll be speaking to you,
Yes.
and they've been frank, and they said, why don't we just dissolve that municipality? The South African Human Rights Council says that your place must be declared a disaster area. Why do we still have the local municipality if we can't provide local service delivery?
I think there is still hope. We are still able to deliver almost 55% of the services that we are supposed to deliver. We are still providing people with electricity. We are still.
That's when it's there, Mayor. I understand this was not your first blowout of a power station. That you've had like 5 or 6 in the last 7 months.
Let me then answer you directly on that one. When I arrived here, we did actually budget adjustments.
Okay.
I've put aside money actually to revamp all the 50 substations. So which means the team should be now on site to work on those stations. So the lessons that we have learned from the one in Vanderbilt Park has enabled actually us to say, a study, I commissioned former engineers who helped me with their technical report.
You say former engineer. Mike says
Yes.
that you haven't given him, when I spoke to him, he said that you're stuck in bureaucratic red tape and you haven't let him and his engineer friends help you for free.
No. Then, but since I've been there, I met this team. Sasol firm came. Sasol actually gave us a support to say, we will give you the parts that you need. And then I've opened it. We are signing a memorandum of understanding with those companies. So already I've sanctioned that the MM should speed up that process, that they sign that agreement, so that these people who are volunteering to assist us, they can come on board.
Mayor, I just want to know that you appreciate the gravitas of the problem. The gravitas of the problem really bases around the Vaal River system. Yeah. It is something that almost half the population really relies on, and it costs the rainwater more and more money to clean up effluent that should not be going in there. And as Mike says, it's against the law to pour untreated effluent into the Vaal River system. You could at least put up signs. You could at least redirect people. This could be something that is given the importance that I feel it deserves, because I would not be able to live in your municipality. I don't know how you do.
It's so true, Chief. I'm not going to deny anything because the evidence is there.
So what do you tell your ANC comrades when you see them? The elections are coming up. Surely you must be seen to be moving. What do you tell them, at least from an optics point of view?
My brother, also you must take into consideration, I thought actually you will also show the upstream problem that we are facing. The sewer that comes in our region come from Johannesburg, come from the east, and we
That's
are
all
seeing,
of us. Our water goes
actually,
to
yes.
you.
So,
Our water goes
so
to
you
you.
must understand actually the severity of the problem.
And some say that you are small as the Emfuleni municipality to do this on your own. My question is, have we co-opted enough forces to make the actual momentum flows that we want to see on the ground?
Actually, I'm expecting those neighboring municipalities to be compassionate enough.
The premier should be helping you with your case.
Exactly. That's actually we say.
But he's making you look bad. This is what I'm saying. It's not his municipality.
We
that
are
looks
now
like that,
actually
it's yours.
exposing them that, like the city of Joburg, they must be actually pumping resources for us because we are actually capturing their waste into the Vaal waterworks. So
what does he say when you say that to him?
it's something that we just actually discussed when the minister was here on Friday, that we should actually start to engage these municipalities. Because we are receiving waste from actually Heidelberg areas, down actually through the Vaal River. And it's like as if the problem is in Emfuleni. You look at Metsima Hole, there's a pipe actually that spills into the Vaal River itself. And those are the municipalities actually that we should say, but you guys here should be held accountable.
People always hear these figures being bandied about. You have 341 million to spend on the Vaal River. People want to know what you're actively going to do. What is the change that I will see between now and, I don't know, 14 days from now?
I think because now a budget has been released and the minister was there to pronounce on that, The engineers actually are ready now to start their work. Because remember, we've already spent almost 61 million rands, but now since there was no resources left, the work stopped a little bit. But now, because now budget is there, I'm expecting our area to become a construction site actually by next week. So even before the election, people will start to see actually something happening. But what is more important actually is to unlock the system that does not allow sewer to flow into the waterworks. So that's actually my main challenge. If I can see us actually unlocking those pipes that should actually bring the waste, because that's why you look at 3 River Shopping Center. Waste goes back because the pumps are not working. Now that we got money, we will actually fix those pumps. That's why now one of the things that we have agreed with the minister.
Mayor, I need to wrap. I only have a minute. Unfortunately, you are the one who's in this unenviable position.
Absolutely.
Why should anyone vote your party come the 8th of May, especially if they live in your municipality?
I think people should accept that and acknowledge that we are in a problem, but we are fixing our problem.
It's been years, Mayor. It's been years. But
now the solution is here. National has put resources, the province has put resources, we have put even personnel to do that job. Judge us actually on the outcome of this intervention that we have started.
All right, you heard it from the mayor. The decision is up to you come May 8th as you take to the polls. That has been Karabole Tata's election notebook. Thank you very much for joining us and for being with us here at CNBC Africa. We leave it here, but you keep it locked right here on CNBC Africa. Thank you very much for being with us.
No, it's very clear what it means. 1391B simply means that it enables national government and provincial government to come to the rescue of the municipality.